Hi, we're the Huge Movie Fanatics, and by the time this airs, it's going to be well past the halfway point of the summer. Originally, we were going to do this during our last set reviews,
we were going to do it,
but we ran out
June.
of time and
cut short.
So it didn't happen.
So we'll do it a little late.
Yeah, my things have changed quite a bit since then, actually, because I've seen a bunch of movies.
So more. So this is Matt's. Well, it's both of ours, but it's your what?
Top five and worst one, and your best and worst.
Best and worst.
All right. Do you want to go first, or should I? Or?
No, you go
okay.
first.
I'm going to start with my worst. My worst is Prometheus. Anybody who saw that review is not going to be shocked. I absolutely despise that movie. Fun fact that I discovered.
Ridley Scott lived here.
No. Fun fact that I discovered. That actually puts the whole movie into perspective and fixes a lot of my problems with the movie. That said, if it actually had made it to the screen, I would have laughed out loud and the movie would not have been taken seriously. Prometheus, a deleted storyline from the movie that apparently will be explored in a sequel, which officially has been greenlit, by the way.
Holy shit.
Was that the reason that the aliens were upset was because years ago, 2,000 years ago, they sent an alien to Earth to impregnate a woman. One of the creator aliens to impregnate a woman. The woman gave birth to Jesus' alien baby, and the Romans crucified him. And the creator aliens took that as a declaration of war against their people. So that's why they were coming here, and that's why the fossil in the movie is 2,100 years old and stuff. It's because they were coming here after Jesus was murdered. But like that suddenly puts the whole movie into perspective. It's like, oh wait, okay, that makes a lot of sense. That said, if you say seriously in a movie that the aliens are coming to wipe you out because you killed Space Jesus, the movie falls apart and becomes a laughing joke. Like, it becomes Piranha 2 the Spawning.
Roger Corman something.
Yeah, exactly. It becomes hysterical. But apparently Ridley wants to explore that in the second one. And as I say, it fixes a lot of problems, but it is so ridiculous and so funny that I don't know if I can make a straight face through that. So anyway, that was a fun fact.
About Prometheus.
And that came from Ridley Scott's mouth. That did not come from, that wasn't like Ridley Scott's best friend from high school or something. That Ridley Scott said this in an interview.
In a video?
I'm sure it was taken from a video, but it was a print thing from a reputable British news source.
Reputable.
So,
alright.
I'll see if I can find a link for it or something and send it to Nate, or whatever, post it in the, Anyway, that's my bottom one. Now I'm gonna go.
Does bottom mean?
That's the worst movie of the year that I've seen.
Okay.
That is the worst picture I've seen of the year so far is Prometheus. It had potential, but it sank. I mean, gorgeous. Oddly enough, it's the best looking movie of the year, but it's also the worst movie of the year.
Yeah.
Number 5 for my top 5. I'm gonna go backwards. Number 5, Moonrise Kingdom, Wes Anderson picture. Very good. I'm not a huge Wes Anderson fan. I find the dude a little bit of a pretentious dick. But this movie centers around children, and the weird kind of quirkiness that his movies have totally catered to children, because children are kind of weird and quirky anyway. So I felt that the movie works, and so I really loved that movie. It was a very, very pleasant surprise. It's my favorite Wes Anderson movie, if that means anything. Number 4 is a movie called Chronicle. Came out in January. I knew very little of the movie. Did you know anything? I just saw it because it had a cool cover of Redbox. It's blue and it had like 3...
we're not talking about theatrical?
No, it came out theatrically in January, but it came out on Blu-ray around April, May.
Oh, okay.
So I ended up seeing it about a month or two ago. I adored this movie. I at first was really disappointed because it appeared to be shaky cam. It was like found footage kind of thing, and I'm like, oh God, I hate that. I hate it so much. I hate it. I didn't even have to take a Dramamine. Like, the camera is perfectly stationary throughout the whole thing. Like, there's no like shaky cam moments, even though it's handheld and the characters are holding the camera. Like, it's not disorienting. It's smart. It's got a lot of humor, but it takes the superhero genre and paints it in the most realistic light I've ever seen. It's a found footage for people who discover the superheroes, essentially. And I was blown away with this movie. I highly recommend anybody just go out and see the movie. I've not talked to a single person who wasn't just shocked at how much they enjoyed the movie. Very good, very watchable. Loved it. Number 3 is Disney Pixar's Brave. Brave was awesome. Best looking animated movie I've seen. A lot of people didn't like it so much because it wasn't as good as Toy Story 3 or Up or WALL-E. You know what? Fun fact, not many movies are as good as WALL-E, Up, or Toy Story 3. If you're going to compare them to those, you're not going to find very many animated movies that you're going to like. This movie is good. Very, very good. Strong storytelling, strong female character. Says a lot about family and how mothers and daughters and fathers and sons sort of view each other, and the awkward hostility that happens in some families for some reason is explored, and I really, really liked the parental aspect of it. So Brave, great movie. Also, bears are fun. Number 2 is Marvel/Disney's Avengers. I loved The Avengers. The Avengers is a great movie. Most entertaining movie of the year in terms of just shit happens on screen, oh my god, that's cool. And like, it's any nerd's wet dream of having like, oh my god, it's Iron Man, it's Thor, it's like, yeah, Hulk, oh my god, and he's beating people up. And he's not a pansy like in the other movies. But great movie. I've watched it 3 times now. It's one, the more I see it, the more I absolutely just love it. It's so textured, so layered, and there are so many plot points that you missed the first time around that you see in the second time, and subsequently the third time. It's just so good, so entertaining. I love that movie. And number 1 is Cabin in the Woods. Joss Whedon and Drew Goddard really knocked it out of the park, set the bar high for the whole year for me. It's the best horror movie I've seen since the original Scream, very comparable to the original Scream, so much so that I found out that both filmmakers, Joss Whedon and Drew Goddard, such a huge fans of Scream, they were like, we want the guy who filmed Scream to film our movie because we love the way that they shoot.
Cinematographer?
Yeah, so they went and they got the same cinematographer. They looked him up apparently on IMDb to see what else he'd done and also to get his contact info and stuff. And they found out that he also directed their other favorite horror movie, or not directed, he filmed their other favorite horror movie, Evil Dead 2, which I did not know that the same guy did that. But in my review for the movie, ages ago when we were sitting out here doing it, I was saying how great the movie looked, and like it has just a unique horror movie style that you haven't seen for like the past 20 years, and it reminded me so much of The Evil Dead. It's because it was the guy who like filmed The Evil Dead who did it.
Evil Dead 2.
Evil Dead 2, which yeah, and that's the one specifically it sort of like looks like. Yeah, and I have a book right now I'm reading about the making of Cabin in the Woods, so I'm like all in Cabin in the Woods mode right now.
Well, when that comes out, when's it come out?
September 4th.
So I'll see, I'll buy it and we'll do a review.
I hope I didn't like just set the bar insanely high for you and you're just going to be like...
No, I know better actually now. So even, my bar doesn't even, I don't have any hope. So yeah. I don't really worry about that. Okay.
Yeah, so anyway, Cabin in the Woods is the smartest movie I've seen of the year. It deconstructs the horror genre, also paying loving tribute to it, and I loved it. Perfect cast, everything was just beautiful with that movie. 4 stars for that best movie of the year. What is your...
You did this last year too. You got to do your worst one.
I did my worst one. It was Prometheus.
Oh, I thought that was your 5th. That was worst one. Then you did 5 more after that.
Yeah. Then it was Moonrise Kingdom, Chronicle, Brave, Avengers, and Cabin in the Woods.
So let's see if I can do this. If I can name off the stuff I've seen in the theater. Get your fingers ready. Ready?
Yeah.
So.
It was The Avengers was their first movie this year,
yeah,
right?
I think that's correct. Avengers, then was Battleship after that.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah.
Or wait, Men in Black.
Men in Black was after Battleship.
Okay, so Men in Black 3, and then would have been Spider-Man.
Yeah, I guess Spider-Man.
No, Prometheus was before.
Yeah, Prometheus.
And then Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Oh, Dark Knight.
Dark Knight Rises, American Reunion.
Oh. Well, I didn't see that in the theater, but it is a movie from this year.
Yeah, it came out theatrically.
Yeah, right. Okay. So how many movies?
That's 7. That was a lot higher than last year. Like last year, I think at the end of the year, you'd only seen about 7.
weird. Okay, cool. So you're gonna kick my ass, but my favorite is Prometheus out of all those. I've seen it twice. It's the only movie this year that I've seen, well, in the theater twice. It's just an enjoyable, for me, just enjoyable sci-fi movie. It's just a cool monster thing, and I just like the universe, the sci-fi-ness of it. I guess I like the sci-fi-ness of it. Worst is more difficult. I mean, Christ, it's probably Battleship. I
I was
mean,
gonna say.
yeah. I mean, but it's a really close tie with Men in Black 3. I mean, that was just bad. So my favorite of the year in theater is Prometheus, and the worst is Battleship. I thought that was almost, like I said in the review, just almost walk out this time. So there you go. That's my best and worst so far. So
Hopefully we find a better movie for you for your best picture for
just
the end of the
because
year.
you don't like it doesn't mean
Yeah, I know.
anyone else can like it, right? Hopefully we find you a better one for the year.
I hope every movie that I see is the best movie of the year.
What's your best of the year?
Cabin in the Woods.
Oh yeah, that's right. See, I probably might agree with that if I see that. So I plan to see that, and then we'll do because we've never really done a review. He wanted to keep it spoiler free because
Yeah.
he did the review before
I did,
it even opened.
Yeah, I
so,
did the review a week before it came out.
So there you go. We're
That's
cool.
pretty cool.
And that's actually got really high reviews. Actually, I don't know what our most.
I think our highest one is still either that Spider-Man or the Batman trailer review.
So yeah, feel free to watch our actual movie reviews instead of just the trailer reviews. But whatever, as long as you're watching. So there you go. Oh, one thing I wanted to say, we should say every now and then is feel free to send us review requests as well. We haven't said that for a long time.
I'll see anything, so you just send me anything your way.
Oh, Innkeepers?
I will see the Innkeepers. It hasn't become available. Like I could buy it, but I don't have like $20 or whatever.
I don't think, based on what I think you'd think of it, you probably wouldn't have bought it.
Okay.
So, but I just went ahead and bought it, and I'm waiting for him. I'm kind of waiting for him to see if he sees it. But if he doesn't see it in 5 years, I'll review it. So that is our best and worst and whatever this year so far.
Is there any other ones this year you're looking forward to?
What the hell else is coming out? I mean, I'm pretty much.
Expendables, maybe?
Well, I wouldn't say I'm looking forward to that, but I'll see it at that one cheap theater. I found a theater where you can see a movie for $4.
I'm more excited for this one than I was for the first Expendables.
Yeah, well,
because this one just looks more fun than the first one.
Well, yeah, I'm hoping that maybe it's the part 2 thing where the second one's better. Who knows? But just to see Chuck Norris on the screen since when? The first time, and I don't know when's the last time he's actually been in the theater.
I don't know.
But I mean, Van Damme on the screen again. I mean, that'll be interesting. And I know that he was really disappointed for saying no in the first one. After that came out.
Yeah.
I'm glad he.
Apparently, Stallone wants to do a third one, and he's actively pursuing getting Clint Eastwood and Harrison Ford to round off the.
Well, Harrison, he ain't doing much, so I can see that. But Clint's a little.
If he can get Clint Eastwood, if he can actually pull that off, just give Stallone an Oscar,
I don't think he will.
I don't think he will.
Maybe for maybe one shot where he comes in and goes, "Make my dick."
Yeah.
And that's it, but not any kind of.
Could you imagine the fanboyness of just seeing Clint Eastwood in the same movie with Rocky and Terminator or Dutch? That'd just make me so happy.
Yeah. What about Carl Weathers or something?
Carl Weathers, apparently Stallone had a falling out of some kind. I was reading about the Rocky Balboa, because the only footage you didn't see in that movie of any of the fights was the fight between him and Apollo. You saw stationary shots where he's sitting there with Mickey or whatever, but you never saw any shots of him fighting Apollo, and that's because Carl Weathers refused to let his likeness be shown in Rocky Balboa, and so couldn't get him. And he also had to cut out a couple scenes, he had a picture of Apollo Creed right next to his bed, next to the picture of his wife and Paulie, and Mickey. He had the 4 pictures there because those are the people from his life that have all basically died. And they had to cut the scene because he wouldn't let it.
Wow.
So I guess they had a falling out. It's too bad. I like Carl Weathers.
Yeah.
But movies I'm excited for this year, I'm very excited for Django Unchained. Tarantino's new movie.
I saw that trailer, and,
Looks
and
pretty
that
good.
looked because with Inglourious Basterds, I really thought he I mean that's really good, and that's almost and it looks like he's continuing that same thing where it's a combination of almost cinema, where you could really call a lot of Inglourious Basterds, I mean, cinema. I mean, there's a lot of great film in there, and that was the first movie of Quentin Tarantino where I went, wow. I mean, this guy's a filmmaker now, and I see that in the trailer of that, combined with, of course, his love of the 70s-ish stuff, which is fine.
Like, my favorite part in the trailer is the reveal of Leonardo DiCaprio, where he just sort of turns to the camera and they like do that weird 70s zoom in on his face that just sort of pauses where he has the dumbass look. And it's like, you have to work hard to make Leonardo DiCaprio look like a dumbass. But Tarantino's great.
I saw the trailer in 3D for whatchamacallit, which actually looked pretty visually amazing, which I'll probably see. The Great Gatsby.
They pushed it off for full. It's coming out next May.
Oh my god!
I got upset too because that looked good.
Did you see the trailer in 3D?
I didn't see it in 3D, but I saw it and I was like, oh man! And I'm excited for The Hobbit. Just throwing that out there. I love me some Hobbits. So.
All right, that's fine.
I'm excited for the new Clint Eastwood.
So now you pissed me off about that.
I know. I was so
Great
disappointed by the Great.
Why did they do that? Just to make it a summer?
Warner Brothers, they had some because Warner's is releasing it. They had some after that shooting thing that happened at Dark Knight. They rearranged their whole schedule thing and moved things around just because they had to move Gangster Squad because there's a scene in that movie where people are in a movie theater shooting at the audience. So, and you saw it in the trailers to it, and they've immediately pulled the trailer, they pulled the movie, and they're reshooting that scene so that it doesn't happen. And they're just rearranging everything.
How do you feel about that? Like reshooting the scene for?
For now, I understand it. I get it. Just because of the time thing. But
how much time can pass before they can?
I don't know. That's just the question. There's a famous episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It was called Earshot. It's supposed to air on the day after, I believe, Columbine happened. And it was about a person coming into the school with a gun and blowing people away. And they pulled it, and they didn't air it for like a full year afterwards. And I understand it. I mean, it makes sense why they did that. But at the same time, they're completely different things, completely unrelated, and it just so happens just because art imitates life in a weird way doesn't mean you should stop the art. That's sort of the way I feel. It wasn't like the kids from Columbine saw that episode of Buffy and were like, well, we're doing that. Like, that didn't happen. It hadn't aired yet. Same thing, it's not like that dude from, again, Colorado, saw the trailer to Gangster Squad and was like, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do that. No, he pre-planned all that stuff. I mean, it was obvious that all of that was premeditated and pre-planned. It wasn't like it was just, I always have a problem with that. Check our Scream reviews to see my opinions there. But, yeah.
Which Scream review was that? Like
I think I covered it in all of them, plus that the TV show, Scream TV show. That was my thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's where we talked about it recently. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What do you think?
I think that's it. That's our top 5.
And other things.
And other things.
Miscellaneous other stuff. Thanks for watching.
Peace.